This is not us making this up. This is actual reporting of Jerry Jones talking about being a general manager. I've done it all, okay? So I have an inordinate amount of confidence that, if anybody can figure out how to get this shit done, I can figure out how to get it done, John said. I've been there every which way from Sunday. And have I busted my ass a bunch? A bunch. And there's nobody living that out cutting and out shooting that can give you a bunch of times they busted their ass. So hell no. There's nobody that could fucking come in here and do all the contracts and be a GM any better than I can. Now, Jerry, congrats on talking your shit.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Think about the decades of the people and fans saying Jerry needs to get his hands out of the team's business. Ever since Jerry has started running things, we haven't been good. He got rid of Jimmy, and then nobody's able to check Jerry. And Jerry's just got his little fingers and everything. He's making decisions. He's drafting from the yacht. He's cutting people. He's negotiating deals. He's calling plays sometimes. Shit, he will get out there and throw the ball himself if he wants to. That is what people say. That's why the Cowboys haven't been good. So if this is a new interview or if this...
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy, Cowboy Joe Boo. What's up, Joe Boo? And Bucky the damn Beaver. Oh, let me move the camera for Bucky. Damn. I'm changing some things up here in the studio set, so moving around a little bit, so you may see some things you'll notice, some things you won't. Bucky, he said, hey, I want to be in the spotlight too. As always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. We are on the last day of September, and this is where now you start to get a feel for what the teams really are. I'm not sure on some of the teams. Some of the teams, the Eagles have been squeaking by, but it's kind of crazy that Saquon Barkley is averaging under 4 yards a carry and under 60 yards a game, that their wide receivers are kind of pissed off that literally in the second half of a game, they didn't complete a pass, but they're 4-0. They're 4-0. The Green Bay Packers, 2 weeks ago, we heard that they were, the biggest threat to the Eagles, and now you kind of have to question that. The Cowboys, we're the tale of two cities. Let me tell you guys about a Charles Dickens book from the 1800s. And it was about two cities, London and Paris. In Paris, they were in the middle of the French Revolution. Things were bad. It was terrible. And then there was London, where there's peace and prosperity. And if that does not explain the Dallas Cowboys where we are, where we have the number one offense in football. Shout out to Shoddy. Shout out to Shoddy, because the fact that you had Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe, and CeeDee Lamb out, and then Tyler Guyton gets a concussion. You had three offensive linemen and your number one target out, and it didn't matter. The offense did not skip a beat. TJ Bass stepped in, and I think gave up one pressure. And I'm going to get to pressures here. I've had an awakening about pressures.
Oh, shit.
Then we have Paris, which is the Dallas Cowboys defense. They made some changes up. They did some things a little bit different, but with the same results. 40 burger. I don't know where we go from here. We do have some troops that we'll be getting back, that maybe that helps. But a lot of this is going to go to the Joneses. Whether or not we try and bring in some outside help. Now, we're seeing people dropping like flies out there. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys watched the games. The games really weren't that good. The Jets in Miami was literally, I've had more enjoyment watching grass grow and paint dried. Actually, painted grass dry. How about that? I've had more excitement than I did from the Jets game. But something that was crazy that happened last night, you had Tyreek Hill have a hyperextended knee. Now, hyperextended knee is dislocated. Dislocated, hyperextended. It's similar to what happened to Zeke Elliott some years back with us, where basically the knee goes forward where it's not supposed to. and you basically stretch and pull all the stuff, but typically nothing's torn. Now, I don't know if anything's torn or not. Zeke only missed one game, but clearly it bothered him because he dropped about a yard per rush after that. Tyreek Hill, I think that this is going to be a season ender for him because I've never seen anybody seemingly so excited about you end up winning the freaking lottery and a whole bunch of money. Yes, yes, yes. But when you dislocate your knee, wow. Shit must just be really bad in Miami. And here's the thing that's kind of amazing to me because I remember when Mike McDaniels was hired in Miami and everybody was like, oh my God, he's quirky, but he's a genius. He's the best hire. He's the best hire. Offensive genius. That guy knows everything. Miami Dolphins. And they went out and they got players. They did everything to make that guy succeed. And that team is just ass. Just ass. Boom. So when people are going through and they're saying Schottenheimer, oh man, he's just a journeyman. He's an idiot hire. Jerry Jones didn't look outside the building. Well, as far as the offense goes, the offense is definitely doing some damage. The offense is looking pretty good, especially against what supposedly is great defenses. Now, what is still insane to me is, as I talk about the tale of two cities, Dak Prescott. Let's take a look at this for a second. This is Chase Daniels. I hope I don't get copywritten on this morning video, but I need to show some of this stuff. So this is Chase Daniels. Chase Daniels, who's doing great stuff here on the YouTube, breaking down things. I want to get a professional opinion on this, okay? Because I can tell you stuff all day and nobody ever listens to me. But listen to this, because we always get this narrative that Dak is stupid, that Dak can't read defenses, he's just an average quarterback and stuff. But I want you to listen to Chase Daniels break down the mind games that the Cowboys offense played.
This is exactly why Dak Prescott is playing like an NFL quarterback that is a top 2 or 3 person. You see Dak here. He's going up to the line of scrimmage. He's checking. Oh, hold on. Not so fast. Let's go back up there. Let's check again. Mind you, this is 3rd and 5. When he does that, he sees that the defense on the first check right here, he sees that everyone is up. So he says, we need to check to a man-to-man beater. If we check to a man-to-man beater, we're going to be great. So that's what he does. He goes, alert, alert, alert. He takes it to the head, goes alert, 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 changes the protection. When he does that, watch the defense. They're going to get back out, and they're going to play zone defense. When Dak sees that, he then goes back and double checks to a play. What he ends up doing, and you're going to see as he's checking, he's going to find George Pickens down the left side of the field for a huge play and a hole shot between this defender, and he's just sitting there right in the middle. This is 3rd and 5 in overtime to get them to a field goal range.
All right. So this is the guy that people say, he can't read defenses, that he's not that bright. That's what people say. So you've got the offense, which is the number 1 offense in football. And then you got the defense, which is ass. And we are seemingly undisciplined. Now, we had Martez Latufu make an incredible hit and play in the game, but then makes a boneheaded one. This is just unexcusable. This is Randy Gregory tackling an offensive lineman in the playoffs and giving 15 yards and more time off the clock for no good reason. You literally cannot do this. And this is what I'm talking about here. When I say the tale of two cities, this is the French Revolution, okay? Let them eat cake. I don't care. Watch this. This is just bad. I'm going to go. Okay, so we see my man here has dropped the ball. It is not that he can't see that he's dropped the ball. He's looking right at him. Look at this. Oops. And from there, he's taking a step, another step, another step, another step, another step, and he's running and hits him. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't do that. Yeah, this is just undisciplined, stupid ass play. Boom, look at this. Bro, he's dropped it. He's dropped it. This is like when you literally fight a guy who's in full pads. You ain't hurting the guy fighting him in full pads. The only thing you're hurting is yourself and your damn team. We cannot afford to make boneheaded mistakes like that. And Eberflus, to his credit, ended up benching him after that point. You know, and the thing is we were looking and saying, we need to see this guy more. Jack Sanborn's not doing great things. We need to see him more. Bro, we need to see you more, but not doing boneheaded mistakes. These little things add up. The Sam Williams face mask, that hit right there, that's 30 yards that you gave those guys. Now, here's where I realize I have to go ahead and say I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, okay? Because, let me see. It disappeared on me. You had Micah Parsons grade out as the highest graded player on their defense. He supposedly had 8 pressures. 8 pressures, right? And you look at the numbers that Pro Football Focus put on the defense, and everybody in there was average or way above average or elite. And I literally, freaking Twitter moved. I wanted to read them out because they were insane. So if you remember the pass to Jalen Tolbert, when you look at that game, when you look at that play, you could look and say there were 4 pressures on that play. There were 4 pressures. Dak Prescott, you can see him in the pocket, and he is maneuvering. He goes between 2 guys. 2 more come up. You could literally say there were 4 pressures, but yet he goes down the field and made your gain. So we kind of have to look at this and say, maybe, just maybe, oh, here it is. Okay, here's the play. I'm trying to do things a little bit differently here because I want you to get the full picture. And shout out to Brian Bollinger for doing his breakdowns, which originally started out, and I got to give credit where credit's due, because Vosh, J-Tuck, Law Nation, those guys, Foots, were doing film breakdown before any of the talking heads, before the television shows were. They started doing it first, way ahead. So this is the play I'm sitting here talking about here, right? Watch this play and tell me that it's not 4 pressures in here.
In a word, Dak Prescott was awesome on Sunday night. But this play in overtime right here, where he drops back, he steps.
Okay, so I believe that's 2 pressures, right? My man's got past him. The guy's coming around the end.
Up, and then here comes both Parsons.
Okay, so that's 2 pressures right now.
And Wooden right at him. but he's keeping his eyes down the field at Jalen Tolbert.
So isn't that two more pressures? Isn't that two more? Is that, am I wrong? Is that four pressures?
And somehow he gets enough juice on his ball for Tolbert to come back out of the end zone after he'd slipped and get an unbelievable toe tap right there, extending the field by an extra 2 yards to catch that ball for 34 yards.
Watch it.
In a word, Dak
Prescott
Prescott was awesome on Sunday night. But this play in overtime right here, where he drops back, he steps up, and then here comes both Parsons and Wooden right at him. But he's keeping his eyes down the field at Jalen Tolbert, and somehow he gets enough juice on his ball for Tolbert to come back out of the end zone after he'd slipped and get an unbelievable toe tap right there, extending the field by an.
Okay, so they all got credit for pressure, right? This is where I realize statistics maybe, this is my mistake. I always end up quoting statistics. I do, okay? Mean, median, mode, modulation. But here it is. Everybody's talking about, oh my God, Micah Parsons' game. You know, he played so well. He had 8 pressures. They keep giving him a sack, but he didn't get a sack. It wasn't a sack. Dak Prescott crossed the line of scrimmage. But we keep hearing people say he got a sack. I don't think that was a sack. I'm just saying. Oh, yeah, they have it still listed on here as a sack. I don't think that was a sack. But be that as it may, he had a 90 grade. A 90 grade. He had another guy in there they had like 4 guys that were over 70. So clearly they were all graded out. Hey, this guy played great. Yet they gave up 40 points. So if Micah Parsons had 8 pressures and a sack, and they still gave up 40 points to a team that had 3 offensive linemen out and their number one weapon, what does that stat mean then? What does it mean? You tell me. To me, you need something like a actual stat that actually changes the play. That's tangible. A sack, if you sack a guy, that means he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle for loss, yeah, that means you tackled him for less yardage. Pressures, turnover-worthy plays, they didn't happen. That doesn't necessarily mean that anything changed because of what you did. Okay? You could say it was a turnover-worthy play, and it could have been the touchdown that wins the game. Oh, but it was a turnover-worthy play. What does it mean? Absolutely, positively nothing. That's what it means. It means absolutely, positively nothing. So, with this being Taco Tuesday, Cowboys are off the field. Okay, this is the players' day off. I've still been waiting for Micah Parsons, the president, not just the client, but the player president of Bleacher Report, to do a podcast. Is that no longer a thing now that he's in Green Bay? It seems like right now would be the time to do it because you could bitch about Jerry Jones not manning the F up. You can talk about sacking Dak Prescott or not sacking Dak Prescott. Seems like there's more stuff there. Hey, maybe you could bring Diggs on to talk about Dak Prescott not being a top 10 quarterback. How about that? Yeah, it seems like this would be much watch entertainment.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh.
So where do we go from here? Well, we are going to be getting some players back, and I've already gotten long-winded this morning because there's so much going on. But we have 6 players that are eligible to return from IR. Some of which might be plug and play right now. Some of which might be, yeah, we can get them back, but they ain't had any experience or practices yet. So don't get too excited by that. The Cowboys really want to make a difference. They need to go out and actually bring in some extra help. And at this point, you have some teams that may be looking to make some moves for some players that may be expiring contracts and they know they're not going anywhere this year. So let's finish this off with Good Morning Football, where they talked about the game and the quarterback carrying the Dallas Cowboys.
Very amused this morning by there's people just waking up bleary-eyed who maybe went to bed early. They haven't looked at their phone. They just turned on their TV. They don't know what happened last night, Isaiah and Manside. They don't know what happened between the Cowboys and the Packers. Don't worry, it's nothing bad or scary or anything, but it is kind of weird, right?
It is weird, brother. I got a huge question, though, bro, because I was up because I picked the Packers in my Survivor Series.
Yeah.
The end of the tie, I don't think we've ever had a tie of a game that somebody chose. What happens to me now? Do I go for?
All right, so Vance asked a good question. Survivor pool, eliminator pool. If you pick a team to win and they tie, are you out? We're going to litigate this all week. This is going to go to the Supreme Court. We're going to let the people rock the vote. But if people are waking up like, why are they talking about ties? I don't understand. Let's get into it and show them what we're talking about, and then we'll unpack this thing. Packers, Cowboys.
Okay.
Second the ball hit the ground, there was 1 second left. It stopped. I watched it 5 times before the show. They got it right. 40-40, it's a tie. Do we have sound afterwards? I believe we do. The Packers 40th second highest scoring tie in NFL history. Let's go to the name of people after the game. Let's hear from Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. Take a listen.
I'm not even gonna lie, I'm pissed off, I'm very disappointed on just overall how we performed. I even told Jordan to the side, thank you for having our back today. Jordan played like the player he was, and we let him down. We didn't live up to the expectations on defense. There's only one thing for me, and I told y'all from the beginning, all I know is go. So from the snap of that football, it was just about killing 4. And now it's on to whoever the Bengals got up, just killing that opponent. I just didn't think we did a great job today.
I knew that he is the great player that he is. And I like the way that we got ready to play him. And we played him, and we ran at him. But we knew he was there, and he made a difference. But that's the way it goes. Whether we like it or not, I'll take my side of it, and Green Bay can have their side of it.
All right, guys, let's get into something first, because there's so many people waking up this morning and so many people stayed up late last night just going to town and teeing off on ties. Ties in general is just a very polarizing thing, or maybe just a really hated thing right now. But we had 40-40. There is no winner. There is no loser. Where do you guys land on ties last night? We got one.
Well, I thought it was a great reflection of this whole Michael Parsons trade situation in general. If you're both teams and you end in a tie, you're happy, but it's not ideal. I think you look at the Michael Parsons trade and you look at the Dallas Cowboys, both ends, you're happy, but it's not ideal. Michael Parsons wanted to stay with Dallas, and Dallas would rather have Michael Parsons with a star in his helmet. They're happy that it all happened, but it's not ideal. It's the same thing with this tie. So when I look at this thing, KB, I was up now, guys. I remember I kept looking at the clock. I was like, it's 9 o'clock. I got 6 hours. And the amount of sleep that I was going to get throughout that, I was like, okay, now I'm at 5 hours, 45 minutes. I started going. I was way too nervous. It was 69 degrees in that room. I felt like it was 80 degrees because I was sweating at 9:15 p.m. Pacific time. Just watching this game. So, Isaiah, that's what I took from this tie. I liked it.
I can tell you that I was up as well, man, Ty. I was up, and I was on the sideline for that game, actually doing a pregame show for the Cowboys when Micah Parsons walked into the stadium, and you could hear the roar of the fans. There wasn't much clapping going on. They were not necessarily pleased that he was in the building. But in regards to the tie, I don't like it. Look at those records, 2-1-1, 1-2-1. This is not soccer. I know what they call it el fútbol, but we call it football. And I like to see a win column and a loss column. I hate the fact that these guys went out there and gave it their absolute all for 4 quarters and an entire overtime, and they walk away with nothing. All this is going to do is mess up somebody's playoff positioning when it comes to the end of the year.
That's true.
Yep. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that I say this nice and clear. Hi. I'm Kyle, and I love ties. I absolutely love this.
Welcome, Kyle.
Listen, we had 16 games yesterday, right? 16 games over the weekend. We had 15 that were just your standard win, loss, whatever, and we had one juicy, gross, messy tie. I absolutely love. We have 544 games in the regular season. I like one that's weird. I like an outlier. And just what you guys were talking about, it's really strange theater. No one knows how to act after the game. I'm watching Micah walk around. The body language is confused. Even Jerry in his scrum couldn't tell if he's supposed to be smiling or frowning. It's a very strange emotional purgatory, how you don't know how to act. I like watching that. I like it as a change-up. I've seen thousands of wins and losses. I like the tie. And Isaiah, 3 months from now, it's going to be absolutely bedlam because these two teams have that stupid third number, and they're going to get into some 15-layer scenarios about who needs to do what. I like that stuff. I want a complete fine mess. And honestly, usually the tie we get, it'll be like Panthers, Jaguars, 23-23. Who cares? 40-40 between these two teams on this night is such a perfect crap burger where no one knows how to eat it, no one knows how to swallow, and no one knows how to react. I absolutely love it, but I know I'm alone. Manti.
Kyle's a guy, he's Leroy Jenkins. Anybody know who Leroy Jenkins is? There's a video game, those guys out there, and one person just runs out there and just disturbs everything everybody else going.
Jenkins!
God dang it, Kyle.
Guys, whether you liked it, whether you were indifferent about it, whether you didn't like it, you had to love the way that Dak Prescott played. Right now, he's playing at a level where he's the best quarterback in the NFC East. There's a lot of talks about all the quarterbacks in that division. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys right now. Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the NFC East. So we got.
We'll leave it right there. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate you guys being here, being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Look for some more changes here at this studio setup as well as at home. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I got to get out of here because they always tell me, don't quit your day job.
I can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get out of here.
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself.